If every year is so up and
well,
down like that, how can I tell how good a coach he is?
The only thing you say, hey, he's taking 2 teams to the Super Bowl.
I know, which is
One of
crazy.
them, yeah, I know. One of them
Has
won.
Gary, was it he that took him to the Super Bowl? Or was he a caboose that went with the team to the Super Bowl?
You know, I mean, this has been such a frustrating team. I mean,
it is.
This team has gone to the Super Bowl twice, but you look at like 23, who were those guys?
Without further ado, our friend G Cobb from Fox 29 in Philly joins us. Woo! Hey, Gary, how'd you like to walk in that meeting on Monday and know you gave up 281?
Woo!
Yeah.
I tell you what, of course, they limit coaches now of what they could say and stuff, but I tell you, that was disgusting, man. You get embarrassed like that. I mean, you got people, you figured somebody's gonna show up at your house or something. You start talking about that. I mean, just humiliating. I mean, guys are 5 and 6, 10 yards downfield, and you're a defensive tackle. I mean, golly. I mean, I don't see how let that happen. But really, everybody was in on it. It wasn't just them. I thought Vic Fangio, I didn't think they did a good job defensively. I mean, they got taken to the cleaners. I mean, that was the total embarrassment, because, the game was close on the board. I mean, in the game, they still got a chance to win the game, but they got totally embarrassed the way the defense got. You're getting pushed around and you let somebody dominate you. That's the kind of stuff you take personally. And
yeah,
I was really disappointed. I mean, I hadn't seen those guys get pushed around like that. I mean, like I said, you're a defensive tackle and, I can see you hustling downfield, but if you're getting blocked downfield where you're like you out on the expressway and you see the running back going by, That was embarrassing.
Gary, it was 10-9 in the third, though. Even though you were getting run over,
the
Bears weren't sticking the ball in the end zone.
That's right.
And I say that this was a collateral damage from the offense.
Yes.
With all those 3 and outs in those limited series they had.
That fumble, the turnovers by Jalen. I mean, you're down there, you got a chance to go down and take the lead. You're on the 10 or 11-yard line, and you cough up the ball. I mean, it's just so crazy of a game because, like I said, you are getting embarrassed defensively because they're running the ball down your throat. At the same time, you're still in the game because they're not scoring points. They're going up and down the field, but that was horrific. I mean, to get embarrassed like that, man. I tell you, I know a lot of people have not sat in the meetings. I have sat in the way, back in the day, the way the coaches would embarrass you. You put in that kind of performance. You got people pushing you around. You're 300-some pounds and you're getting pushed around like this. At the same time, like I said, I thought that Vic Fangio had a hand in it because, that offense was really taken to the cleaners with the way that they were running those cutback plays, where the Eagles really had to change the different things they were doing with the linebackers and things because they had them really that coach outcoached them too. They got
Ben Johnson. Look at this, the way that they schemed it up. All right, Gary. So in the city, here's the debate: bench Hurts or fire Patullo. Who and what side are you on with this?
Oh my God. Well, I don't think you're going to bench Hurts. I don't see how you can do that.
And I don't think they're firing Patullo either.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I can see where, because, he's doing what, Nick wants him to do,
Yeah.
So, with how they can, the way the offense is being run, I mean, golly, but Jalen, though, they did have some opportunities. He had Devontae wide open down there by the goal line. You missed that. Then the other time you go down there and you fumble on the tush push thing, you got to put the ball away. You can't be putting the ball out. You can't, and finally, I got to give Chicago credit. The guy was looking for Jalen and that ball.
Yeah.
He's looking for him, and he knocked it out, got the ball out and everything. So, and, it just was an awful preparation. They really came out, and, in football, you just can't just show up, though. You know, like the other sports, you don't have to be so emotionally into the game. Football, you got to be emotionally into the game, man. You got to come knowing that you're in for a fist fight, and that's where you got to be prepared. And clearly they weren't, man. To get the line pushed around like that. I like I said, you see defensive tackles where you're 5 and 10 yards downfield being blocked.
I mean, big time blocked.
Come on, that was embarrassing. So I don't know where they go, man. You got to go have a talk with your players. You got to get better effort than that. The safeties. I mean, I've never seen so horrible tackling where, you got to like, where did they get you from? I mean, the guy, you can't even barely touch. You can't even get two-hand touch on the guy.
Two backs over 130, Gary.
I know. Totally humiliating. And I mean, I haven't seen that. I mean, what we were talking about was a good defense to get humiliated like that. Really, really, they got to have some talks, man. They got to sit down and really get it together where you got to be emotionally invested where, if you play like that, you're going to get embarrassed by these other teams too.
How do you think Hurts is playing?
Well, he didn't play well. I mean, it was horrible. I mean, I thought he played poorly. He's not really seeing the receivers. Their guys open. He's not seeing them.
Not very accurate right now.
You're right. Not very accurate. Because and then the thing is, I'm sitting there watching this game. I'm going like, you guys are playing horribly, but you just make one play. You could win this game.
Yep.
And they didn't take advantage of it. I tell you, it's the kind of thing where if it continues this way, then we're back in 2023.
Yeah. I mean,
where you just collapse and everything. At the same time, if you look at the door is wide open. I mean, there's nobody running away with anything. The team now that they just played, the Chicago Bears, are the number one. They would be number one top team in the playoffs right now in the NFC. I mean, and come on, the Bears aren't that good. Come on.
No, I mean, I'm with you. Listen, if I had to go to Chicago and win a playoff game, I don't fear that.
Yeah,
look what happened to the Rams. The Rams got beat by Carolina over the weekend.
I saw that. I mean, I thought really the Rams right now, I figured that they're the best team. And I expected, then you look up, they're losing to the Panthers. Come on. The Panthers are. So I think the door's open. I don't know that this team is going to come back. I mean, I don't see how. I just don't see, offensively.
I don't see a path back to getting the thing on the rails.
I don't know how they're going to do it. You get hear all this talk, people talking about different coaches and different offensive coordinators and all that stuff. You can't do this. You can't.
It's
do that.
December 1. You can't be doing that now.
Yeah, you don't have enough time to really change.
No,
and be changing coordinators and everything. If
maybe
you do, it's got to
had a bye. Maybe if they had a bye, Gary, they could maybe contemplate that. But December, you got to be playing championship football.
That's right. But the thing I would see is it's somebody on the staff or somebody that runs the same exact system, because you can't change the system this late. What you're doing, you can't do that. So I don't know. Their options. And to see a team, this offense to be, to have as much talent as they have, and to look that bad. Even though I have seen them, I mean, there was a while last year, they were struggling some. So, but and they still really didn't get the ground game going. I mean, they were able to, run a little bit, but still, you run for 50 some yards. This is really. I tell you, it's hard to stomach these guys, man.
Absolutely. Gary, what's wrong with Barkley?
Well, I think, of course, he's dependent on the line. I thought he did a little better job of getting what's there, but that's what he's got to do now. He can't be trying to run 60, 80-yard run. Look, get the 4 or 5 yards that's there. That's what he's got to do. That's what they got to do is, they're not looking for home runs. You just want to have a running attack so that, what you do is, you get 4 or 5 yards, whatever you can get, you got to go out there and get, but this he can't be back there dancing and looking for a 70-yard run, man. That's not reasonable. And hopefully that line, get healthier, every other week. But like right now, I very, very disappointed. I tell you, the guy they're going to be playing against this week, Mekhi Becton, they can start to use him. You see how they really miss him, man.
Oh yeah.
He had really was giving them, he was a lot of the muscle they had last year, and now that's kind of missing. You just don't see that same movement that they had last year where they were blowing holes open and Saquon's going through them. But Saquon has got to think, though, I'm trying to get 4 or 5 yards. I'm not looking for, taking the ball, 60 yards, because that's not reasonable. That's not what they're doing. And as bad as it is, none of these teams are unbeatable.
Let me throw a theory out at you that Eric Dickerson told me years ago, guy you and I played against.
Yeah.
His first 3 years in the league, his first year he went for 390 carries, not counting the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
His second year he went for 380. His third year he went for 404, and in that time frame, he went for 5,700 yards in 3 years, which is insane, right? 2105 was in that. You know what he told me after year one? He goes like this. I knew after that year, because in his first year, he had 1,800 yards rushing, which is crazy, right? He went like this. My body was so beat up and was so incredibly painful for me. I knew that to get my body in shape for another 380 career or another 380 year of carrying the football, I had to be in even better shape.
Yeah.
I asked Eric Dickerson over the weekend, what do you think's wrong with Barkley? He goes, he's not in condition to run 390 times 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think there's nothing? Here's a guy that ran the ball his first 3 years, almost over 400 carries. And he said that Barkley's not in shape to do that. And he's not in shape to do that in consecutive years. Do you agree with that? Don't you? Well, those guys back in that day, Gary, carried the ball 330 times a year, 340. That wasn't uncommon for us to play against guys like that.
That's right. You're right. I can't say that I know that whether he is or he isn't, but I can see the dance.
He never had a year over 275 in carries.
Yeah. Last
year he had 470.
Well, carrying the ball that many times, it's definitely excruciating. I mean, it's tough on the body, but and I know the training and everything. So I don't know what he was doing during the off season. I don't know how much training he was doing. And I can't say that I think that it's just that, because there've been guys in the backfield.
Let me give you the gradings. There's between Landon and Steen and Cam. Right now, Steen is the 4th worst pass protecting offensive lineman in the league. Cam is one of the worst centers in pro football, and the 9th worst guard is Landon Dickerson.
Wow.
So the middle of that offensive line is getting schooled on a week-to-week basis. So it could be a combination of both, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it definitely is that, because that the line, a lot of times he gets the ball. You got 3 people, in the backfield. You got guys getting penetration all the time. So I definitely think that's part of it. And I think the way he's running is part of it, which is you can't be back there dancing, man. If you got a line that's dominating, you can do that. You can do that. But if they're not dominating and other teams getting penetration, You can't dance. You got to get to 4 or 5 yards, whatever they got. You got to hit a hole and get what you can. And they were showing there were number of runs he had where there's a hole, he's taking the ball outside. So, but I can't blame it all on him. I think it's shared between the line and Saquon. While the Eagles why they don't have a running game or a decent running game. I mean, and to see the comparison between the two, and to see the Bears running the ball down the Eagles' throat, and then the Eagles, coming out, and they, he did have, a few, 6, 7, 8 yard runs. I mean, but nothing to get all worked up about, and they were throwing the ball a lot. But like I said, just really an ugly game where, you're getting beat, you're getting the ball run down your throat, and even though they're not scoring, guys that any football players looking at it and going, this is totally. Come on, you're letting the ball get run down your throat. So I don't know where this team is going. I mean, they got to show up and they got to play with more passion than that. You got to be putting more into it than they did. That was embarrassing. Even though you still were in the game and everything, you're totally getting outplayed. The defense had been the one on the side of the ball. What you were saying, okay, now they're playing hard on that side. But after that game, man, that was the worst game of the year. I mean. That was terrible. I mean, even though they gave up more points in one of the games, against the Giants or whatever, but to have somebody run for nearly 300 yards,
man,
that's not
a serious conversation there. Absolutely. Are you concerned now about the defense because of the offense's inability to stay on the field? I mean, Gary, on Friday, you're right. Listen, there's no doubt, 281. Yeah, I mean. You and I look at that as being that's an offensive thing. When you get run on like that, it's an offensive thing because it's like your manhood is being challenged.
That's right.
You get run over like that, and like you say, you got to have a mentality where that's embarrassing. I get that they were still in the ball game, third quarter. Yep. They were hanging in there. Do you think that offense is systematically destroying that defensive side of the ball? Because, Gary, if they can't get out of 28th on third downs, that thing's going to fall apart even more.
That's why it's I imagine, if they had some cameras and you took them up there and you were able to go into the meetings and tape every meeting and see what they're saying and everything, because this has gotten to the point where I don't see how you go farther off the cliff. I mean, how close do you go to the cliff to be able to fall? Now, they still got a chance. They still have a chance. But if they show up and play with that much fire that they had last week, where you basically don't show up emotionally, you just got the uniform out there and everything, but you're not fighting this other team. You can see the emotion that Chicago's playing with, and the way they're whooping your butt. I don't see how I'm almost like, I got to step back from this team,
Gary,
this is I don't know where they go, because they got to play with more fire than that, man.
Is the identity of this team closer to the 2023 team or the 2024 team?
Well, right now, we just saw 2023 there on Friday. I mean, to get embarrassed like that, let somebody run for 300 yards on you. And, you're still there in the game. And the fact that, they found a way to lose that game. I mean, even though that as much as they were being outplayed, they're still there in the game. And you turn the ball over and, very, very frustrating looking at this squad, man, but they still got a shot. But I got to see something before I could even take these guys seriously anymore,
Do you think Eagle fans, Gary, look at this and do this? Last year, Nick wins the Super Bowl with that team. Do you think that 2023 has left more of a bad taste in Eagle fans and their memory banks, more than them even winning the game? Because every time something starts to go sideways, they refer to 23. And to me, that makes me think that the coach that, I mean, look at the coach's mentality, Gary. Shane Steichen, team was good. He was cool. All of a sudden you get Brian Johnson, not so cool. Okay. His job's in question. A year ago, they win the Super Bowl. Everything's great. You hire a guy that's a first-year guy. Everything's south, and they're not starting to question the coach again. I mean, this guy is a victim to the coordinators he has in the building. How do I know how good a coach he is? If every year is so up and down like that, how can I tell how good a coach he is?
I don't think you say, hey, he's taking 2 teams to the Super Bowl.
I know, which is crazy.
I know. One of them won.
Gary, was it he that took him to the Super Bowl? Or was he a caboose that went with the team to the Super Bowl?
You know, I mean, this has been such a frustrating team. I mean,
it is.
This team has gone to the Super Bowl twice, but you look at like 23. Who were those guys? Who was that team in 23 that were they won 10? You know, they're 10 and what? They were 10 and 1 or something.
Yeah, and then, who are these guys?
Well, wait a minute. What happened to the team? Where there were people out there in uniforms, but you couldn't identify and go, wait a minute. That's not the same group that's been playing. So that's why how am I gonna know? I don't know.
Hey, Gary, there's bus drivers and there's bus riders. Hey, okay.
Yeah,
bus drivers and bus riders.
Well, I know that down through the road, I mean, down through those, through my career, I tell you, I had some defensive coordinators. I would not have wanted to have to go in there on Monday.
What do you think, Buddy? What would Buddy had said to you guys with 281? What do you think? What would Buddy Ryan have said to you guys on a Monday?
Well, he would have been letting people go. They
Really?
would have been getting rid of people, you know. and he would have had guys out there running and stuff. I mean, but that was man. I don't know. I don't know what he would have done. Really, you know, I could.
Hey,
I don't know what he would have done.
I don't think I've told you this story. So I got released from the Bucks, and I came up to see the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
And the general manager, I had a 3-year contract in front of me. I was going to make the team. And Jerome had talked to everybody. I knew like Norman Brayman, obviously from Miami, you know. Anyway, I'm in there. I work out. I think Jeff Fisher was like the D-line coach or somebody.
He was really defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
and so only Buddy was the defensive coordinator, but you know.
So I do all my drills. Jeff Fisher works me out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get a 3-year contract in my hand. I guess you guys got killed on Monday night by the Giants. And Jerome had like this horrible he was just terrible. So they bring me down. They go, okay, I want you to see Buddy because you guys were going out to practice. By the way, what a shitty locker room the vet had for you guys. It was brutal. Anyway, shit was dripping in the lockers. It just was disgusting. I couldn't believe it.
You didn't see any of the cats?
I didn't see the cats. They told me about the cats, but I tell you this, I saw the toilets overflow. It was just
man. Hey.
The whole thing was so I walk out, he looks me in the face and he goes, do you think I want another one of you around here? I know who he is. You think I know who you are too. And I go like this, get this fucking guy out of here. And I looked at Jerome and I go, you son of a bitch. Are you crazy? And I was so pissed I signed with the Cowboys. That's a true story, man. I mean, he was so mad the way Jerome took plays off.
Yeah. Well, I know.
I mean, he was pissed off, man.
Yeah, he make he probably had us running, because that's what he does. He would have you run. He would have everybody running, if you had any kind of thing like that. But that was humiliating the way the Eagles defense was playing that other day. I mean,
Gary,
Jalen Carter. This was supposed to be a stand-up year for Jalen Carter, man.
Woo!
I mean, come on. Like, this was supposed to be his year where he comes out and he's getting ready to get his $45 million a year, That's what he's supposed to be doing. I don't know what they're going to be talking about after that performance. You had him, you got big Jordan Davis in there, and both of those guys, it's like, they were playing safety or something,
Hey, Michael Phelps lives, the swimmer. He lives in like the Philly, Baltimore area. I thought them dudes were doing the backstroke.
Yeah, that's
whoa, hey.
That's what it was. It was the backstroke, man.
Them guys were getting the backstroke.
Man, having those guys running, 10, 15-yard runs. Just running right through them, man.
Man.
You didn't even know. These guys, barely make a tackle. They're running the ball right up the gut, man.
Hey, Gary, you're playing linebacker, and I'm playing DT, and you're getting, surely they had to say something to them dudes where, come on, fellas.
That's right.
You're not going to scrape lane off. How can you play linebacker when your two DTs are getting murdered?
I don't see how you do that. Nakobe Dean was the one that kind of brought some fire to the team, and I heard him talking afterwards, and he's going to have to go off, man.
Is Carter the most disappointing player on the team this year?
I think right now, yeah, he's he hasn't come out and played the way you expect him, especially year he's supposed to be getting him a new deal and everything, and it's been really discouraging. But what do they got? How many games they got left? 5, 6, whatever.
Let's see here. They're 8-4. They got 4 games left. Do you think this is a one and done team?
Well, right now, on both sides of the ball.
They make the playoffs, right? They make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, they're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna make the playoffs because if they win, out of the last 5 games, if they were to win, 3, you got 11 wins, and with the rest of their division, the guys are not gonna get to 11 wins.
No. But here, check this out. If the Cowboys beat the Lions, and the Eagles lose on Monday night to the Chargers, they got a half-game lead in the East.
Is that amazing or what? If they let the Cowboys catch them.
Wow. Hey, if they let the Cowboys catch them, you got to think that Nick's going to take some big heat for that.
Yeah, he would. He would. I wonder what they would do, man.
Oh, they fired Kevin Patullo for sure.
Yeah, well, I think he's probably going.
And I think they would get rid of AJ too.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see them doing a trade and wanting to just clear the air and everything. But they got some big contracts, on that offensive side of the ball. I don't know how they can get out from under some of them,
Well, they can't, the quarterback, because the quarterback has the Eagles hostage. Because you know why, Gary? He has a no trade. You ain't trading him to the Jets.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Hey, Gary, I can't wait till Monday night, my friend.
Man, I got some big contracts. Not you mean, with Saquon and all of the offensive line and everything. That's a lot of money, boy. I tell you.
Boy, I'll tell you one thing I've learned today, man. All of a sudden, Philadelphia, Kevin Patullo, man, they hate this guy, and the Jalenites are out in force, man. They got everything going right now, man.
Hey,
holy God!
And Philly, they're gonna get crazy, man. They're not happy with this, man. You're gonna really probably see some serious banners over there on Monday night, man.
Gary, I will catch you next week, my friend.
No, I think they're out in LA. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they're in SoFi. I think they're at SoFi, yeah.
Yeah, SoFi. They're out there. Yeah, they're out there. So man. Woo!
Hey, man. Okay. Yeah, they're at SoFi. Yep. Here's where they finish with, Gary.
I think there are going to be a lot of people in the area that are going to be getting their therapy, man.
Well, here, get this. They got the Chargers. They'll beat the Raiders. they got the Commanders, and they got Jaden Daniels will be back for both those games. And in the middle there, they got the Bills. Bills got to play their ass off too because Patriots play tonight. Patriots got a commanding lead in that AFC. They're fighting for a playoff spot now. So the Bills,
you're right.
That game at that game at Orchard Park might actually mean a lot more for both teams.
That's true.
Okay,
that is true.
Yeah, and depending on what Dallas does.
Yeah, and I see that the Commanders, they play hard last night. I saw them. They're playing hard. Yeah. So, they figure, hey, if we can't go, we don't want you to go either.
That's how I play it.
Yeah, and usually those guys that do that, they're like, hey, if we can't party, we don't want you guys to party either.
The year the Cowboys went 1-15, Jimmy was in the locker room going, this is our playoffs, and they beat the Redskins that year and knocked the Redskins out of the playoffs that year. Remember, they went 1-15. Mm-hmm. That was the game that knocked the Redskins out of the playoffs.
I tell you that, I know, Washington, man, if they wouldn't have anything to play for, if we can knock those guys out.
Especially Josh Harris owning the team.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
They would love to do that. But I tell you, boy, this was
Can you imagine if the Eagles were to split and have this record right now in the NFC East? They would be 3-3 in the East if that plays out like that. Do you know right now the Dallas Cowboys have a better divisional record than the Eagles do? They're 3-1.
Is that so?
Yep. Philadelphia doesn't have a better record because they're 2-2. They split with Dallas and they split with New York.
It's just reminiscent of 23.
It is. It's got a 23 feel to it, my friend. We'll catch you next week.
Hey, I hope it gets better than this, man. If it doesn't, who knows? I might be out of the country.
G Cobb, we'll catch you next week, my friend.
All right,
Thank
buddy.
you so much, man.
All right, have a good one.